Hi friends, welcome to Storytime. It is Thursday, April 2nd, and all of this spring weather got me thinking about baseball. So we are going to read a book about baseball today. It's called Brothers at Bat. Some of you might know this story already, and it's the true story of an amazing all-brother baseball team. So this is nonfiction. Everything in here is true. For the Aceras, of the past, present, and future. When winter's chill melts into spring, back doors swing open and slap shut as kids just home from school run outside, mitts, bats, and balls in hand. In one New Jersey town near the ocean, back in the 1920s and 30s, you could hear the same door slam over and over. 3 brothers raced out, slap, slap, slap. Out went 3 more, slap, slap, slap. And more, slap, slap, slap. And still more, slap, slap, slap. It sounds like a fairy tale. 12 baseball-playing brothers. But Anthony, Joe, Paul, Alfred, Charlie, Jimmy, Bobby, Billy, Freddie, Eddie, Bubby, and Louie, Acera, were real. They had 4 sisters too, Catherine, Florence, Rosina, and Frances, and a white dog named Pitch. The sisters didn't play ball. Back then, most people thought sports were just for boys. The Aceras had so many kids that they slept 2 to a bed and sat 3 across in their outdoor bathroom. They ate dinner wherever they could find a seat, and even on a baseball field, there were more boys than there were positions. But that didn't stop them from playing. Baseball set the rhythm of their lives. Every spring, Freddie would say, you would take your glove out, go in the yard, and play. Neighbors couldn't recall a time when there weren't Acera boys outside tossing the ball, hitting it hard, racing around, with the young ones watching, wishing they were old enough to play. Their high school baseball team had an Acera on it for 22 years in a row. So here they are in 1938. Anthony's 32, Joe 27, Paul 24, Alfred 22, Charlie age 20, Jimmy 18, Bobby 16, Billy 15, Freddie 13, Eddie 12, Bubby 10, and Louie, the youngest one, was only 7. In 1938, they ranged from age 7 to 32. The oldest 9 formed their own semi-pro team and competed against other New Jersey teams. Their father coached them and never missed a game. Their uniforms all said the same thing, Aceras. The infields they played on were dirt. Outfields were littered with rocks and sand. The brothers loved to talk about the day they played at the old dog track, an oceanfront stadium that had once been an auto raceway. It was there that Anthony, the oldest, hit a couple of home runs right into the Atlantic Ocean. They called Anthony Poser because of the way he'd stand at the plate, as if his baseball card photo were being taken. Charlie, the 5th oldest, was the slowest brother. He was a good player, but a terrible runner. The brothers often joked about the time he hit a ball nearly out of the park, but then he only made it to second. Jimmy, the 6th brother, had a knuckleball that people still talk about. You couldn't hit it, Eddie said. You couldn't catch it either. That ball danced in the air. Jimmy was a great hitter, too. He was probably the best player on the whole team. But there was no jealousy, no rivalry, no fighting. As the younger brothers grew up, the older ones shared playing time. If someone dropped a fly ball or struck out, no one screamed or threw down his glove or stomped off the field. We stuck together, Freddie said. The team played in New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, wherever they could find a good game. Paul sent out letters looking for new teams to play. The all-brother team always drew big crowds. In 1939, at the New York World's Fair, the Aceras were honored as the biggest family in all of New Jersey. They were taken to the airport where they boarded a plane and were flown right over the fairgrounds. They couldn't believe it. No one they knew had ever even been on a plane before. Most of the people at the World's Fair, looking up at that small plane in the sky, probably had no idea there was a whole team of brothers on board. But it wasn't all fun and games and sunny skies. Their darkest day occurred on the field, too. Freddie was on third base in a scoreless game. Alfred was at the plate. He touched his shoulder, the signal that he was going to bunt. But then things went wrong. The pitch came in high, and somehow the ball bounced off the bat and hit Alfred hard, right in his face. They rushed him to the doctor, but they weren't able to save his eye. For the next few weeks, Eddie took Alfred's place as catcher, and everyone thought Alfred's baseball days were over. But when you have 11 brothers willing to throw you balls in the yard, gently at first and then a bit harder, you get your skills back. You get your courage back, too. Alfred was soon wearing the Aceras uniform again. He was a pretty good catcher for a guy with only one eye, Freddie said. In the 1940s, something pulled the brothers' attention away from baseball. American soldiers were fighting in the Second World War across the Atlantic Ocean, that same huge ocean that Poser had hid his baseballs into. Battles were raging and soldiers were dying, but the brothers knew it was important to fight for their country. The team disbanded as 6 brothers joined the service. Poser was first to go. He, Charlie, Eddie, and Bobby all served in the Army, and then Billy and Freddie joined the Marines. The 6 brothers traveled far from home. After a lifetime of talking and playing together every day, they now went months and years without even seeing one another. They longed for the salty stew smell of the Atlantic Ocean, and they dreamed of their childhood home, of the back door going slap, slap, slap as they ran outside to play, and of long afternoons throwing the ball high, soaring arc from glove to glove to glove in a field full of brothers. Back in New Jersey, their parents and siblings waited for the news. It took a long time for letters to reach them from overseas, so there was a lot of time for worry. When the war finally ended, everyone was so happy. Eddie out in California with the Army was so excited that he went up to a woman he didn't even know and kissed her. Many American soldiers died in World War II, but the Aceras were very lucky. One by one, all 6 brothers returned home from their time in the service. Mama Acera cried each time one of her boys walked in the door. By the summer of 1946, the family was ready to get back to baseball. They were all older, of course, and Poser's heart had grown weak, so now he was the coach of the team. They joined the Long Branch City Twilight Baseball League, and over the next 6 years, they won the league championship 4 times. Every Sunday, crowds filled the stands to watch the all-brother team play. As time passed, the Aceras got married, moved into their own houses. They worked hard at their jobs, at the water company, the post office, selling insurance. They started having children of their very own. In 1952, they played their last game as a team. But they had already made history. History, it's all true. The Acera brothers were the longest playing all-brother baseball team ever. In 1997, the Baseball Hall of Fame had a special ceremony to honor them. Only 7 brothers were still alive. Paul, Alfred, Bobby, Billy, Freddie, Eddie, and Bubby all made the trip, along with more than 100 relatives, including their sister Frances. Jimmy's son donated his father's uniform and glove, which were put on display right there in the same museum that honored Babe Ruth and Ty Cobb and Willie Mays. They treated us like we were kings, Freddie said. After such a thrilling day, you could picture them driving off into the sunset happily ever after. But their bus broke down. They could have sat on the curb grumbling in the summer heat, but someone found a bat and ball, and as 3 generations of Aceras waited for a new bus, they played ball. That ball then soared from grandfather to granddaughter, from father to son, from brother to brother. And here on the last page, this is a picture of them, brothers in real life. And there's a little bit more information at the back of the book, too. And that is Brothers at Bat. So, friends, I hope you enjoyed that. I am actually wearing the shirt of my favorite baseball team. It's the Cubs. Maybe in the comments today you can tell me what your favorite baseball team is or what your favorite team is. All right, see you tomorrow. Bye.